Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Ranjit Gopalan, and I have been working in IT industry since the last 25 years. And this is an opportunity I want to demonstrate the product which I built is called as you know dashboard for AIML, right? Model creation. It's called as a comprehensive dashboard for AIML, and which has the beautiful feature of pre-processing data. So the data scientists now need to understand about how the programming is, how the Python works, and how to load the library. All this UI will help to do the pre-processing, then modeling. It can be a machine learning or deep learning. Then there is another feature added on this comprehensive dashboard is a predictive AI, generative AI. Then another one is the image comparison. Let me share my screen, then I walk through the application. And when I walk through, I'll explain the features also by using a sample data set. Hope you all see my screen. Let me load the URL and let me show the app. And this is called as dashboard for comprehensive dashboard for AIML, where the space for machine learning, deep learning, and image comparison. And as I said, it has different features like pre-processing the data. We can pre-process regression data, classification data. Then we can think if it is fit for machine learning or deep learning. So many machine learning, we can select regression and classification. Same way, deep learning, we can select regression and classification. Let me quickly go through pre-processing a data where we use for home LOB, even home insurance policies, and the data contains insured data, then rating data, coverage data, which is needed for the premium validation. All we are trying is understanding this data using the pre-processing and its pattern. Then we are trying to split, or I'm trying to remove the dummy values and make it everything numeric and fit for the machine learning model. Since we are talking about the numerical values for the premium pre-processing, so machine learning is the best fit. And in machine learning, regression is the best fit. And using this dashboard, the data scientist can easily do a pre-processing data. Then when it comes to machine learning and regression, they can select it, and they can, when they select, yeah, they can select it, and the best fit model they can select from the drop down. And with the hyperparameter, non-hyperparameter, or pre-learned model, they can fine tune and test with validation data, right? So these are the things can be done through this dashboard. So the benefit here is the data scientist no need to know anything about the background, how it is being handled, right? And everything is coming through UIs for them is very easy. All they need to understand the inference of the data, right? Which feature I need to select, what is my target value, right? How the pattern. That's only they need to know. Rest all pre-processing, selection of model, and or hyperparameters, and loading the model, retrieval. Everything is done by this dashboard. This is very easy for them, and they can focus on their related data related information rather than focusing more on loading Jupyter notebook, loading Python libraries, and error, and then rerun. They don't need to worry about it. So all this dashboard will take care of it. That's the benefit of this product, which is especially for machine learning. So let me select the data. This is something, the raw data which we have it contain around 36 columns related to home policies. If you load it, which will give the file information and total number of rows and total number of columns. There are 66 columns are needed. I mean 66 features are there, and user can actually remove the feature which is not needed. For example, drop test cases, test case tag, test case description. We don't need. We can actually drop it. That's the way we can visualize the column name and drop accordingly, right? Rather than going in Excel sheet and remove it, and this will give a visual comparison. So So user no need to worry about how, what sort of data it is, right? They can, before they drop it, they can look into the top number of, top 5 data here, and this will give a, clear cut information about the data pattern. Then they can look at the data type, and if any null non-values, so data types and non-null count, it can be a number, string. If it is unknown, means could be a date format, right? Date format. Then we have a string, number. These are the different kind of data type. And by looking this, if they wanted still those, they can keep here. Otherwise, they can just click on the button of each feature. It will actually get dropped. So this is a beautiful feature, right? Which this dashboard is giving. Data scientists no need to worry about how to remove it. It automatically get removed by keeping original data set as it is. What is loaded here, it will keep, or we'll create another copy of it so that we can in future or after some times, if you wanted to retrieve those data, we can go back and look at the original one, right? So that way we can do number of times. So it's not wasting their time, it's all improving their accuracy. Now we get the summary statistics, right? How much count, mean, minimum, max, and standard deviation, especially for numerical data. So like I can show you the example of premium. This is our expected value, Y value, and total 36 data, and we have a kind of standard deviation 338. Unique values, if you wanted to understand any unique value on particular column, very easy, right? For example, risk address, we have a different risk address given here. Based on this is what the number, right? This is a risk address. Based on this risk address is unique, and also apartment, then producer name, effective date. Now there are a lot of, for example, year build. How many? These are the unique values. So that way we can look at the pattern of the data. Now, yes, this is where the data profiling, right? Before they get into modeling, data profiling in technical data profiling or functional data profiling is very easy to understand. Now, if you wanted to do any kind of univariate analysis or bivariate analysis, very easy, right? Rather than go into Jupyter Notebook and load the data and select the bar graph or box plot, you don't need to worry about it. It actually gives everything in a tip, in a selection of, right? Let's go the final premium value how to generate. It will understand the box plot where the outliers or right skewed or left skewed or middle skewed, all these kind of inference we can get from the UI. I mean, again, we don't need to understand how the coding part of it. This actually help data scientists to focus their time rather than building the chart. They can focus on analyzing of the data, right? That's what very important, right? So these are the things is helping them to improve their productivity. Now, if you wanted to compare two features, for example, total premium versus total term premium, it's actually giving a comparison study right here itself. And she understood this data, or still if you wanted to drop some of the things not needed, or you wanted to load again and do, or some of the things you already removed, no, I don't need it, I need to back it, right? You can load the file again and get that. So multiple times you can go through, analyze, pre-process the data, right? That's the easy way, right? And it's all visualization. You can have n number of times. Once you get a confident on the data pattern, then try to download the filtered data, right? It's actually download. Yes, it's getting downloaded, right? Once downloaded, we know how many features are here. We fix the features. We understood the data profiling. We understood the technical data, the summary, statistics. We understood the functional pattern. Then we can understand, we can go to machine learning, and we know this is a category of regression since it's a numerical data. Let's go to the regression side. Whatever the filtered data, we can take filtered data. Let's go to the download. This is something we filtered now. Once we filter it, everything will come automatically. And here is what we can select the target, and here is where we can convert the categorical values to dummy. Then we can split the data based on the train validation test. We can change the percentage. Then we can select the model. There are different models from linear regression, decision tree, random forest, ADA boost, gradient boosting, SG boost, ridge regression, lasso regression. We can play around with this model, and which is giving the best accuracy, we can select it, right? So we don't need any kind of program running in the backend. Everything is taken care by this app. That's the beauty of it, right? This is for regression, machine learning. Same way we have for deep learning also, and for classification, right? So in one page or one dashboard, data scientists only need to get this product in their machine. In one dashboard can do n number of features, right? That's important. That's the beauty of this product. Now let's select the target column. What I said, the total policy premium value is what we are going to predict it. Let's try to remove any null values. Null values are not there, so total number of rows is 37. And if you wanted to convert, as part of any kind of machine learning model, it's actually take the numerical data, right? All categorical data we need to convert into numeric. Select which one you need and convert into new demi values. Then if you wanted to train, split, validation, test, split the data. And if you wanted to download the train data, let's just for checking purpose, we can download and cross verify. Look at all the categorical is went to 0 and 0, 1. So that's what the demi data. And these are the data actually doing a game changer for predicting the premium value. So premium value is got remote. That became a Y value, rest all are X value. Now get back to the dashboard. Select the model. Let me select model decision tree. And we have an option for pre-trained model without hyperparameter, model with hyperparameter. Let's take one complex, right? Where you can have a criterion. You can select the drop down splitter. We can select it. Maximum depth. Let me go with the 6. Then create a model. Model got created and stored in the backend, the Postgre database, right? So the architecture of this application is front end created through React, and middleware through Python, Django Python. Backend is Postgres. So all the model which create is stored with the model number, that's a unique ID. And whatever the testing data also gets stored into another table. So easy to retrieve it. We can do a comparison study which model is good out of this listed item. And the scientists can select it and use for their further training purpose or the production deployment. Now, if you wanted to predict with the test data, so we got the premium around this, right? And we will see how that R-square value coming up from the database. We'll go to the database. And before that, just a recap. Once we have a pre-trained or pre-processed data, we understood these are the features are important, and the what is X value, what is Y value, or we need to fit those CSV file or Excel here. Then select the target column, then try to convert into dummy values. The split data, this is very important. I mean, we can have 70-30 percentage or 80-20 percentage, the way we need, right? We can split automatically. We'll get all the data. If any imputation coming, we can impute it. Since there is no imputation here, this is blank. So no column contain null value, right? If it is null value, we can impute based on the group or based on without group, right? Like that, we can do an imputation. Then again, the model, the parameters created the model. Now let me go back to, yes, this is where the data is getting stored. And let me close everything, right? So if you look at here, we have two table. One is a regression model where model got created. Prediction result is where the result, once we test the model with the test data or validation data, all the result will come here. Let's look at the regression model, try to pull the data. This is where each model is defined by model ID and model name, model type, then sub option with the hyperparameter, without hyperparameter, and all RMSE, MAE, MAPE, values are stored here. And based on the model ID, we will go for prediction. And let me bring that data to. Yes, this is what we tested. If you look at the 17th row is what we tested now, the time. Yeah, so 8:17, right? So if you look at this is the data type we selected test, we can select validation also. Now, if you wanted to look at how the R square value, how root mean square value, adjuster, how the predictions, everything is here, right? So this is where we get the accuracy. Which model is giving better accuracy, coefficient of determination, which model is giving, we can select. So we can play around with this data combination, pre-processing different models, just play around with this in the dashboard, and everything will be stored in the database. Then analyze it, which model is good, and select it. Right? That's the beauty of this product. Okay, that's all about our predictive. Now, we talk about machine learning, deep learning, pre-processing, and all. Now let's talk about creative AI. Here is where the LLM comes into the picture, right? And if you wanted to talk to any data source like Rally or Splunk or ServiceNow or any kind of API log, all we need is connect this database with this LLM. The LLM we use behind the screen is AWS Bedrock, where RAG, right, retrieve and augmentation, right? Uh, that means retrieval is doing by Titan, then the generation is doing by Claude, and we have three different models. One is Titan is using for retrieval, then it actually vectorize it, then Claude will go for generation. Second one, instead of Titan, we create our own model or our own program with the knowledge graph metadata and aggregate data. Then do a vectorization. Claude will use for retrieval. And here, the third one, we use our custom function plus Titan for making good vectorization. Then Claude will use for retrieval. And here we are using their Claude for generation and retrieval and generation. Sorry, we are using Claude for generation, retrieval. We are using Titan and our knowledge graph. Right? Let me explain. The first model, you know, retrieval, we use Titan, and generation Claude. Second model, retrieval, we use our own custom function, which create a knowledge graph, metadata, and aggregate data. And for generation Claude. Third one, knowledge graph function, along with the Titan to get a better vectorization for retrieval, Claude for generation. Service now here, we use retrieval and generation using Claude. Let me just check with let me check with this function, right? All we need is we need to click the update the vector. Let me go back to create AI. So let me go here, right? All we need is update the vector, means periodically we can update the vector data. I mean, we don't need to vectorize the entire data every time. All the delta part we can keep doing. That means every day, on nightly basis, we can do this updating vector automatically or manually. All we need to click this button. Now, if you wanted to ask any questions, all we need to ask the question to here. It may take around 30 minutes because it has a large data set, right? What it will do is it will go user, different temperature K value, which we set in the configuration using Claude. It will go and generate it. And now it's a Claude. We can actually change LLM. Is all configuration done in the backend, right? It takes little time, so let me go to the user guide and I'll come back. So we created a user guide and I'll send you those who are interested. Is all we talk about, right? And we have a functionality like pre-processing, machine learning, deep learning, creative AI, image comparison, PDF will come. It all gives the documentation, how it looks, how the screenshot, how the navigation, all we talk about only is explained here, how the univariate, multivariate data is showing here, bivariate data. then how to select the model and how to select the hypertuning values and how to look at the database, and then come back to the generative AI, how it looks, creative AI, how it looks. Then the other one is a PDF comparison and image comparison. So PDF comparison, how baseline image, target image, and overlay looks, which I will explain. So we have a documentation, clear-cut documentation. Those who are interested, please send a mail to me, renjit.gopalan@gmail.com. I can send these details. Now come back to, yes, the query cluster has given a decent response. I was talking using a Rally database and asking any user story related to Amendry update. It actually gives this. There are 4 user stories, and what are the different states and effective days. All is given, right? So it's a cakewalk, right? I mean, if you wanted to understand related to this, we need to pull those Excel sheet from the data source and analyze. It takes another 3 to 4 hours, where it takes only less than 10 to 15 minutes seconds. We got all summarized away. That's the beauty of generation Claude, right? So that's what this dashboard has, another feature of generative AI. Now come back to comparison. So image comparison is where we can select 2-page image and do a comparison. And PDF is where we can select 2 PDF and comparison. For example, I'm trying to compare 2 PDF. Resume, right? Let me compare my resume itself. Try to compare it, right? So what it will do is it will call an API, and backend it's a NumPy pixel to pixel comparison, right? Is a very beauty in Python, right? And the benefit of this dashboard is we don't need to worry about how the coding is done. All is doing through API, and API has a logic for comparison, and it brings the result on the UI itself, so we don't need to worry about it, right? I know if it based on the number of pages, it takes a little more time, but it gives actually accurate data. For here, if you look at here, left side is a baseline, then target, and the if any pixel changes, it actually shows us that's a very good color format. And if you zoom it, however you zoom it, this image quality is not getting removed. That's the beauty of it, right? So like that, we can go with the second page and third page. Every page we can go, and it actually give a detailed summary and detailed overlay information. So that way, if anybody wants to test PDF comparison, it can be a policy document or endorsement document or anything, right? They can easily use this dashboard will help for the PDF comparison. Just a recap, and this is a comprehensive dashboard for AIML where data scientists can do a pre-processing data. They can select the model based on machine learning, deep learning, regression, classification, and it's easy cakewalk. And they don't need to worry about building or setting a BSC or any kind of code base to run it. Rather, this dashboard will do everything for them. Then another is a creative AI where we can connect to multiple data sources with different LLM and have a chatbot or interact with them easily, and which will give a summarized way where we don't need to go to literally to that data source and pull the data in Excel or any raw file and do it. Rather, dashboard will give everything. So this is the benefit of this product. Then image comparison and PDF comparison, where you can compare 2 images using NumPy series, and it's a pixel to pixel comparison. And if any changes, it will show as an overlay with a different color, right? So that is the beauty of this product. And if you have any doubt and any question, anything you need to understand about how the regression is doing, how backend this API is being configured, right? Feel free to send a mail to my email ID, renjit.gopalan@gmail.com. Once again, thank you all. Have a nice day ahead and enjoy with your family and friends. Thank you.